What is up, everybody? We are back. Heck yes. MuseMe TV. Episode 105. It is that time again. Just here to hang out. What is up, everybody? You got Kevin in the studio. Kevin K-Plan. He's got so many names. He's a badass. Yeah, Kevin's in the studio. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Dealing with the corona epidemic. It's been a while since we've talked, and since the last time we've talked, this has come up. So,
I think it's been about a year, hasn't it?
since the last one?
The last podcast?
Hasn't been that long.
Are you sure?
It cannot be that long. If it's that long, I'll be very upset.
Pretty sure it was last summer sometime.
Because it
was my Lords of Chaos.
I think you're right, because I did tag you in a memory. I was like, oh yeah, look, we have to do another one, Kevin. Yep. Well, you're on episode 105 now, dude.
Nice.
Trying to grind, getting some more done. Been pushing out content as much as I can, I guess.
What else is there to do?
In this quarantine state. Yeah, actually, episode 43, Kevin. You're on episode 43, and that was 1 year ago. You look so much younger. Look at you.
Been through a lot this past year.
Look at this, Kevin. You look amazing. We're going to recap a little bit on the episode. Kevin, let's just look at it. Look at the doll face.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear some more.
The beard.
It never changes. It's still there.
Parody black metal. But it all depends on who you talk to, because Dark Throne views everyone after 1993.
Yeah, see, Kevin in the house, people. Kevin, everybody.
And,
So yeah, man, that was crazy when that movie came out. That was fun. I liked it. It was entertaining. I mean, it was inaccurate, but it was still entertaining. And then, what else was pretty cool? Besides, like, what the hell's going on with the whole corona shit? I don't even know what to start. Like, Kevin, like, what's up, Kevin?
I don't know. My opinion on this virus changes on a daily basis.
Like, right now, how do you feel about what's going on with, let me just rephrase it the right way, state order. Yeah, state order. So today I freaked out because I went to Walmart to go buy some groceries and stuff, and I kept passing by the signs, and it nowhere on the piece of paper does it say law. It says state order to wear a mask, and I'm just like, okay, I get it, I'll do it. But there are people out there that are just like, it's the law, you're supposed to be wearing it, and I'm just like, what's going on here? It's turning into like a really two-sided thing where it's like,
It's been politicized like everything these days.
how do you feel about it? Like, are you gonna wear your mask going into a store?
A crowded store.
A crowded store, you say?
Yes, like, Home Depot or Walmart.
But what regulates not a crowded store then?
Well, like, if I walk into a gas station for 10 seconds, to go get a receipt.
And you're the only one in there.
Or whatever. Yeah.
You're a bad
And
person.
plus, in Los Lunas, no one cares. Like, a bunch of people aren't wearing masks. I went to the gas station this morning, a couple mornings, the past few mornings,
Yeah.
And you know how cops like to hang out in front of the coffee machines and gas stations?
Yeah.
One was hanging out there not wearing a mask, not giving a fuck at all. If the cops don't care,
Then why do you... That's kind of crazy, too, is that it's kind of getting enforced by just, like, SJWs or, like, really, like, left-wing that really are paranoid of the virus. That's who is really pushing the mask and stuff. But everyone else...
Like, I have a really good immune system. I rarely ever get sick, so I'm not at risk at all.
Are you just bragging? Are you bragging?
No,
to everyone?
I'm not bragging.
You hear that out there? Just kidding.
Unintentional brag.
I think I have a pretty good immune system. I mean, I honestly feel like I try not to interact with as much people as I can, but, it happens, and I still haven't gotten it yet. I'm just like, what the heck's going on? Like,
right.
My body killing it off, or is it really just like, just blows off into the wind right when it gets towards me or something? Again, we don't really know. The virus is, like, super sketchy. Everyone still doesn't even know where it came from. They're just like, oh, it's from bat meat. Oh, no, it's from a medical lab. Oh, it got released secretly. Like, there's
Right.
I'm just so confused with that.
Right, yeah. Bats, pangolins got it from bats, and we're getting it from pangolins. I've heard that. Who knows? I don't know much about viruses or the study of viruses or how to trace them, so it's hard to have an opinion on that. It's all based on what the news is telling us, and can we really trust them? I don't trust anything China's saying.
Yeah, that's true. I hear the second wave is about to hit China again, about to hit them. So I don't know what that's going to be like. I feel like if the second wave does come or something, people are immune to it, or they're not, and you're going to get sick, or you're just not. I don't. It's going to be a flu again. Like, I don't know how to explain this.
Can we get rid of this, or is this just going to be with us forever now?
It has to be with us forever now.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I've heard reports that people are getting reinfected, and I've heard reactivation of it like it's herpes, like it's just with you forever. I've heard that, but all of this is we still don't know. We're still in the dark. It's still very early. All these studies that are coming out, none of them are peer-reviewed because there hasn't been a time for them to be peer-reviewed.
Right, they don't have somebody just like...
So you need to take a grain of salt
monitoring.
with all these studies coming out right now.
That makes sense. Yeah, they can't be constantly monitoring somebody that has coronavirus for over 5 years. If it's just broken out, like, there's no real long studies of it. So I kind of see what you're saying. What's going to happen in 5 years? Like, is this virus going to be something totally different that we can't even understand? Like, that's what freaks me out.
These 3 months have felt like an eternity. Back at the beginning of February, I was at a rock show, Daikaiju, at the launch pad, right? And I was, right in front of the band, in the middle of the crowd, just surrounded by sweaty people everywhere. And it's just now, after all this, it's like I can't see myself ever doing that again. Because the reaction to this virus, it's...
How do you think?
Don't know what to think of it.
I think it's weird how it plays a role on like people's mind, where they think it's like manipulation to like corral more people now. Like, oh, now we can actually kind of control the population a little bit more. We told people to stay in their houses. Now they're trying to stay away from each other. Things are being like pushed
and a lot of the
aside.
protesters are saying, they're taking our rights away. They've been taking our rights away like since 9/11,
Yeah.
And this is the hill you decide to die on?
Like what?
A hill you can literally die on?
The start of this is just, I don't know, it makes me think.
But it's understandable. A lot of these people in power, a lot of these politicians, it seems like they're on a power trip right now. They're not reacting to new evidence coming out that this isn't as deadly as we first thought.
Yeah, or that
a lot of people are dying still, yes, but it's our projections have been lower than we thought, which is good. And we overprepared, which is also good.
It makes super sense too, because like China's a way more overpopulated place. That's why the outbreak like did what it did there. But then when it came here, we actually...
But it was easier to control there because they're authoritarian. They can lock people down.
But I don't know.
And they listen. People don't listen to the government here.
Do you think that's a bad thing?
It's circumstantial, but we'll see.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, maybe... Do you think not listening to the government helped the people get more immunity to it?
Well, yeah. A lot of people are saying...
I'm just saying.
A lot of people talk about herd immunity, but there is no evidence that this virus will be able to do that with this virus.
Yeah.
Everyone's assuming, and I hope so, but...
Till then, we're just...
How are we going to get herd immunity when we can't interact with each other?
Yeah, like a
if
herd,
we're
right?
not allowed
Yeah.
to spread it.
Like, yeah, less than 5 people. Well, I don't know. See, it's weird now because, again, I went to Walmart and it doesn't feel that much different. Like, there's a bunch of... I just feel like we're a bunch of fucking cattle now because there's even signs on the floor that are telling you which way that you should walk. Like, don't enter the aisle this way. Go around and go this way. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Circle K in Los Lunas is a maze. When you walk in, it's like, enter here because, like, the 6-foot spacing line for customers, like...
That's ridiculous.
Like taking up part of the store.
That freaks me out too. You haven't been Have you ever gone to the Balloon Fiesta testing site for the coronavirus? No? Okay. It's weird because it literally feels like you're driving to like a camp or something. It's a long, long stretch of road. There's like a bunch of signs and cones telling you where to go, like giving you information and stuff. And it's even telling you no flash photography, don't take any pictures. I'm like freaking out when I had to go get tested, right? So I'm just like,
why can't you take pictures? Well,
you probably can, but there
might be like medical rights tied to it, HIPAA laws.
But to what? To like the way that we have the facility? What if we're just like, hey, posted up a picture and it's like, this is what our facility looks like, and China freaks out because like we're doing more than they are or something. I don't know. I don't know why, but it freaked me out going there because you have to drive to like 5 different tents and stay in your car. So you drive to the first one, they take your ID, get your information. Drive to the second one, they tell you some stuff about what's about to happen. You drive to the third one, they do the actual test. It's a nose swab, and that shit's ridiculously painful. It's like, oh my God. It's like
they're poking your brain, it seems.
Dude,
like.
It's ridiculous. Anyways, drive past that, and then you just check out, and that's it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like a concentration camp or something, dude. Like they're just taking my number, taking my DNA, taking everything that they need, and now I'm just driving off whenever they just be like, oh, record number 52. Oh, look, there's blood splatter, and it came from the. I think that's more. They have more of our information now.
Mm-hmm. And they're tracking us through our phones to make sure we're social distancing. Like,
that's kind of crazy, too.
That's weird. Is that necessary?
They're giving people the incentive to tell on other people.
I know. Is it the LA mayor or the California governor? One of them.
There's even a hotline here.
Joe Rogan's been complaining about them a lot.
That's ridiculous. I feel that's scary.
Yes, they're paying people to snitch on each other. Like, it's nuts, man. A comedian, Jimmy Dore, he talked about how this is strange because it's reminding him of the Cold War scare. They made us believe that Soviet Russia was a scary place. You know, there's you can't criticize the government over there. You can't You can't people snitch on each other. You know, it's an authoritarian state, a surveillance state. All this stuff, rights are being taken away. America's turning into that, if not already.
That's crazy to think about, especially like what's coming up to the election coming up, like
snitching on each other. Like what the fuck? Like listening to government officials.
You guys know the rule, right? Snitches get stitches. You guys remember that?
Snitches get riches now.
No, dude. No, don't give them that incentive. No, dude. It's scary because that's actually that's mentality, because they're just like, well, I want to be safe, and if I can get benefit out of being safe, I'll do it. And that's kind of scary too. Mm-hmm. Gas Mask, what is up? Thank you for joining the podcast. He says, the virus affects people somewhat randomly. You can have no symptoms, or you can be gasping for air for like a month. So that's crazy to think about too. Like,
yeah, the asymptomatic part is really
I could be
weird.
fine.
It's really weird. It's such a strange virus.
What if it is released by the government? What's a likelihood? What's a likelihood that it's a scenario?
I doubt it, because when it comes to nature versus human-made synthetic stuff, nature is always superior.
Yeah, yeah.
You really think we're gonna make a virus better than nature? Like, no, they perfected it. They created it.
They got this. They're ready to take us out.
It's possible, but I highly doubt that.
I can see that. I don't know, man. It's just a crazy time. Again, even when I was in high school, like, we were hanging out and stuff, I never thought any of this would be the way it is now. Like, life is just so it's not more complex, but it's interesting how we can do so much, but yet we have to stay inside and shit now. We can't do a lot of that cool stuff.
Yeah, and then you hear about when you educate yourselves about the Spanish flu, it's like, oh, crazy. Was it 100 million people died?
Right.
I think.
Even like,
and then you think, how could that ever happen this day and age? because of our advances with medicine, you know.
Yeah, the flu.
And science, how could that ever happen again?
We do like we took this and like right away did our best. We're still like they're trying their best to try to come up with a vaccine and shit. Like, but they're working off the clock. You know, they weren't doing that back then. Like that wasn't really a possibility. It's like more time spent. Oh fuck. Well, people are dying. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, and there's much better networking and worldwide connection, so you can transfer information worldwide.
Yeah,
you can get a lot of information on this quickly.
That's.
But most vaccines take years to develop, and they're saying 18 months for this one.
I heard it take a
Like
little.
I could see why people don't want to take it because it's rushed.
You think that might be something too? That maybe another stupid conspiracy theory. The government actually gives us something that they're not saying they're giving us. We get a vaccine, but it's actually something more that kind of, I don't know, codes us, gives us more of like a
nanobots.
They know how to get us wherever they need to. I feel like we're getting close to that, especially with Elon Musk talking about his Neuralinks. Like, that shit's even crazier. It's almost here, dude. Like, literally. We'll see it. Hopefully, we will see it in our lifetime. I'm very excited for that. Blows me away. So what's not to say they're just like, well, we'll just pump them with a little bit of this, and this is just, it's a vaccine, but it's also this, which helps us be able to push a button, and I don't know. Just, there's so much speculation, and I love the world now because of how much that is. Like, it's probably untrue, but still, it's an idea that's...
Yeah, reckless speculation is fun. It's fun to do.
They're crazy. Gas Mask says the government wouldn't want to kill the economy. The virus is natural. You can still groom a natural virus by infecting a long line of animals, but it takes a long time, as is seen as unethical. It's seen as unethical, but I guess I see what you're saying. Like viruses made by the government and stuff is kind of like a no-no by all of them. I guess they can just be like, hey, guys, I'm pretty sure if we made like a chemical weapon, it'd be pretty devastating. It'd probably have backlash on us as well.
Right, and if our leaders, which a lot of them are old, if they're susceptible to it, why would they release it?
That makes sense. But that's crazy to think about, too. They just have these biological weapons that they're trying to make. Like, you know, there's just a room full of these little vials of, like, Ebola strain number 28, Ebola strain 29, and just, like...
Right, and it's, yeah.
They're just all there and just like, holy shit.
And one simple mistake, and that could be released.
Yeah, in a, like, crazy-ass way. I don't know. The future's crazy, but I honestly feel... it's not as bad because we're just getting pumped ready for fucking the VR, like just to go into another simulation. That's how I feel. Like the movie experience is no longer going to be at the movie theaters. It's just going to be at home. If you want to interact with people around you, go ahead, put a VR on so it looks like you have people around you, but you're still in your damn fucking room by yourself. Concerts. They're going to be like that as well, too. Maybe we might be able to go to some concerts and stuff, but most of them are going to start being like that now. VR experience. You want to be on stage with the band? Well, guess what? You get to with the VR experience. Same thing with, like, sporting events, dude. That's going to blow me away if they do that. They do that already. Like, they have the NBA where they have the VR simulator, and they have, like, cameras in a bunch of corners and stuff, and you can be those cameras. You can just, like, holy shit, and then go to camera 3, and then you're in that.
So it's just like a next step from live streaming an event. You're watching a live stream of an event, like you're just there with the VR.
The actual, yeah, but your avatar or whatever you want is there because you.
So the band's just playing an empty room with all of us like watching digitally with these digital avatars with us in the crowd.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool, but then that would be kind of shitty because we don't get an experience like the human connection like we used to.
Right.
It'd be like, oh,
and crowd energy, like what,
you can still do that. I feel like you still can do that. I don't know how it's gonna feel, but I feel if you have VR with great sounding, like great sound and great visuals, and it looks like people are around you, I feel like it will feel like that experience. maybe not to 100%, but let's say 98%. That's still very, very, very high. And I feel like that's good enough for a lot of people. You'll have those people that are like the 2% that are just like, well, you know, I'm missing the smell, or I'm missing the way my foot cramps, or I don't know, any little
Missing
thing.
the stale beer.
Yeah, exactly.
In the dirty bathroom at the dive bar.
But I honestly feel like that's coming like really soon too, the simulation or VR thing. I don't know how you feel about that.
I don't like that because, you know, I'm not that outgoing. And I don't really like being in public, but I love going to concerts. That's the one thing I like to do. That's the one time I don't mind being in a giant crowd of people.
I know it's fun too. Like, dude, oh man, I love getting front row, getting pushed by all the people behind me just to try to take my spot and just be like,
getting hit in the head by crowd surfers.
Yeah. That's amazing feeling. I love that shit.
Yeah, it is. I love it too. I love it.
But that's weird to think about too. Is like, if no one's really experienced that, obviously they don't care. They're going to be like, yeah, of course they're going to not want that to happen. Or if somebody did experience that and didn't like it as much, because I mean, one time I took like a girlfriend to went to a Trivium concert, and we were in the front pretty much the whole show, but towards the end she just didn't want to stay there no more, and I'm just like, fuck, I want to stay, but you know, so we were like, okay, let's go to the back and like take a breath or whatever. So obviously she would not want to do that experience all the time. And that makes me sad because I'm just like, that's a fun thing that I would like to share with that person, but now I can't because she doesn't like it. And I'm just like, oh, well, you want to go see Dance Gavin Dance or something? I don't know. It's a weird band.
Well, you could just experience your own VR concert, and then she could watch whatever she wants right next to you.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is like, I don't think the feeling part. See, there's the 98%, like the whole getting pushed by the crowd and stuff. There's that 2% where, oh man, I'm gonna miss that. But maybe like the show is cool.
And then the Launchpad is great because you could talk to a lot of those bands afterwards.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Talked to the Dillinger Escape Plan singer once. That was fun.
Nice.
He's a really interesting guy. He was saying he was a substitute teacher before he joined the band.
Really?
Yeah. And he also said that they're basically living paycheck to paycheck. He's not really saving any money doing it, and if he retires from the music industry, he doesn't know what he's going to do. He jokingly said he'll probably just go dig ditches. He's all in because he's passionate about the music and he has like no plans.
Yeah.
At least when I talked to him, whenever it was.
See, I think
12 years ago.
See, I think right now too is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of streaming, like because I've been streaming a little bit more on Twitch and stuff, and I get a good like amount of audience and traffic.
How do you think about? Did you hear about the Dear Person moderator on Twitch?
I didn't. What?
Like they gave moderator jobs to a lot of streamers, and they gave one of them to a person that identifies as a deer, I believe, and she claims that like most gamers are white supremacists. She's like a really nasty person. It says awful things a lot, and she says voice chat shouldn't exist in gaming because of transgender for whatever. Misgendering transgenders because they're, a massive percent of the gaming population.
Okay, madness. Today's headlines on The Blaze says transgender.
Yeah, The Blaze.
Transgender who identifies as a deer is now in charge of Twitch censorship. I have power. What the fuck is going on? Here's a little clip of this.
People who want power and say like you should be afraid of me for having this power shouldn't be given power. Like the comedian, I think Bill Hicks, or I don't know. One comedian said, "I don't want the guy for president. I don't want to vote for the guy that wants to be president. I want the person that's kicking and screaming as you force him into that job."
Okay, yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you actually, I don't know.
That's why Hillary. What's one of the reasons Hillary was so unappealing? She was the anointed one. It was her time, and people didn't resonate with that. And plus, Hillary Foundation and her husband and what she did as Secretary of State.
How do you feel then with
in Libya?
Oh shit. Well, see that's I don't get it then now, because now look at where we have the choices that we have to make. If it's stuck with Biden or Trump, what are we gonna do? Like, isn't that gonna cause more people not to vote? That seems like it. That seems like not a good choice, first of all, and then a bunch of people just like,
it's not bringing in new voters, that's for sure.
Yeah, they just literally
or people who don't vote.
They just think like I'm still confused with that choice as well, though. But I mean, I'm not as political as I need to be, but
right, and it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be an echo of 2016. If the Democrats lose, it was everyone else's fault but Biden's. It's all the people who didn't vote.
Yeah.
It's all the people who voted for Trump. It's all the people who voted third party. Because there's a correct way to vote, apparently. And it's going to be an echo of 2016. They're going to blame everyone else except Biden. When, they're going to blame everyone else except the person who lost.
Biden.
And no one's going to talk about how, like, maybe we should strive for better candidates. Maybe.
Well, I mean, when we have a pretty big array of them,
let's make voting appealing.
Yeah, that's what I don't get, is that we don't have more choices to pick from. It always gets narrowed down so much. Right,
there's 70 genders and 2 political parties. Like, what?
That's kind of ridiculous, right? But, I mean, look where we live, Kevin. This is the time we live in. It's crazy to think about. I would have never think life would have gotten this crazy.
Quickly. It was a different world 3 months ago.
And he's referring to the coronavirus? Yeah, it is fucking crazy. I don't know, man. Freaking... Just a bunch of stuff going on Twitter. There's a fire contained in San Francisco? What the hell?
There's a fire in San Francisco?
It was contained, at least, so... A large alarm. I don't know. Dumb news. I'm not from there, people. What's going on here? Let me know what's going on in San Francisco.
Oh, at the wharf? The fisherman's wharf?
Yeah.
Damn, the pier?
Battling the blaze. Shout out to the fireman battling the blaze. He was injured. Probably has severe burns.
What was the blaze doing there? Did she cause the fire?
Oh, man. What is this? Oh, shit. This is a hashtag you ain't black, Biden. Let's go and check this out.
I heard about this, but I haven't seen the clip.
Let's see what it is.
Our culture is not imported from some African nation or some Asian nation. It's our English jurisprudential culture, our European culture. The culture, our culture. Our culture is not imported from some African nation or some Asian nation. It's our English jurisprudential culture, our European culture.
God damn
the
it.
culture wasn't imported, just the people and to use as a workforce.
Oh, man. See what I'm talking about? This is what we're stuck with.
So that from my understanding, he said if you don't vote for him, he's talking to black people, you're not black because black people, the Democratic Party owns black people for some reason.
We're all part.
It's more voter shaming, and that needs to stop. It's okay to have different opinions. It's okay for black people to vote for whoever the hell they want to. No party owns anyone's vote.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about, too, is that, like, people try to associate a race with the party that they're going to vote for, too. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, why is it so taboo to find a black Republican? Like, Doesn't make sense.
It isn't either. Like, if you really
It's
go...
voter shaming.
Yeah, if you go look around...
You're not voting correctly.
They're out there. They're so out there. Gas Mask says Biden was streaming with a black guy and said, basically, if you vote for Trump, you're not black.
Okay, that's what it was.
Okay.
Still voter shaming.
I don't know, man. Again, this is just some fucked up times, but that's life.
It really is. Politicians have no accountability anymore. It's your fault. It's not their fault.
Yeah. We're just trying to get what we need done, but it's for us so that we can help everyone else around us. I know. It's even funnier when we end up fighting with each other about this shit, so it's life.
Well, they probably want us divided.
I'm just pissed off that all the Marvel movies stopped. What the hell? We were about to get ready for the next phase. And this happens, dude. I was pretty excited. I don't know about you. Were you pretty ready for it? Black Widow.
I was kind of burnt out after Endgame.
You were like, I've had 20 years of this.
But I've been getting into riff tracks again, so yeah, I might be excited for those. I got all the riff tracks for Star Wars. I was missing. Riff tracks is, Mystery Science Theater 3000, basically.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do that idea. I'm always down.
I love it.
We should do it.
I love it. Thanks to them, I make fun of every movie and TV show I watch.
Because it's crazy to think about. We would watch the movie, but they would have no sound. I just have to put a timer so that they know exactly when the movie and us are reacting to it, right? Because they for the riff tracks, they watch it at the same time.
Yeah, what they do is they have an intro.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I heard that too.
All right, give it a second.
Well, anyways, riff tracks, Mystery Science Theater 3000 was a show in the 90s. They brought it back recently. And it's just a couple guys just watching movies, making fun of them. So you're watching them watch the movie.
Yeah.
So in riff tracks, they don't film it anymore. It's just audio. And what they do is they have an intro, and then they say, oh, okay, after this film logo disappears, pause the movie.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, pause. And then you have to sync up the audio with that.
Okay.
With the movie.
I'm pretty sure we could.
They have an app where it listens to the TV and syncs up automatically. It's really nice.
Dope. Yeah, because that'd be a dope idea to do. Because that's the beauty of those like riff tracking is like it's so much banter from either person all the time of different things. Like if we watched the same movie 3 times, it would I think it would be different. Like there would be something different about the movie and about what we talk about during the movie, so that just in that
example. Because when we talk over dialogue, we're going to miss things. Yeah, and then the next time we won't talk over it, we might have something to say about it.
Yeah. So that's actually pretty cool. I've been trying to think of something like that, or even like old school like TV shows and shit like that, because there was some pretty funny shit like that.
Royalty-free stuff.
Yeah, that's what. But if you could do royalty-free, that means you could play it on the screen and stuff. You wouldn't even have to worry about them syncing it up together and shit. But that shit, like, oh yeah, let's do Bonanza. Let's watch Bonanza.
Yeah, because Mystery Science Theater, they did a bunch of old movies, so it's easy to get the rights to those. But riff tracks, they have to do Kickstarters to get the rights to these big Hollywood movies.
And that's crazy too. I'm pretty sure you probably could do that for like independent films too. Like I don't know how it would work if you just like got something off of Netflix, but that isn't really highly rated and doesn't have a lot of views and shit like that. I don't know how you can actually research that, but that'd be a pretty cool thing to do. But then Spotify's taking over. It's like
Joe Rogan's leaving YouTube.
Yeah,
he's fed up with YouTube censorship. He's fed up with California politicians. He wants to move to Texas, but he's talked about it.
Yeah. So that's crazy to think about too. Is that pretty much will Spotify take that platform over, or if not, just kind of like be the competitor of YouTube now?
Well, if they compete and YouTube responds by easing their fucking censorship, I'd be Spotify's doing a good thing, a great thing.
Because Spotify is actually pretty sick. I recently started to we were talking about this. I recently started to use it, and I'm just like addicted to it. Like it's so cool. I'm just searching for constant things. I'm just oh dude, I wonder what else is here. I wonder what else. I even made my own playlist. I'm like, yeah, guys, go check out MuseMe TV's playlist. There's some crazy stuff on there. So, but that's cool. Like that's so sick. And there's even their partnership with the Anchor podcasting app or whatever. And so I've been actually putting all my audios of this podcast on there. And I'm just waiting for Spotify to okay it, and then it'll actually start to be able to be played on Spotify and Google Play and shit like that. So I'm actually pretty excited about that coming up. But it's all because of Spotify. Like Spotify's doing all this. Don't get me wrong.
A lot of local bands around here have Spotify pages.
That's crazy.
It's really cool. With Premium, you can download stuff to your phone, which is great because at work I don't get reception out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I'm on Highway 6, like west of Los Lunas.
So it's just straight. No bars.
No bars.
No bars. No Wi-Fi or anything either?
No.
What?
I have to like drive on top of this hill overlooking everything to get reception out there.
Oh, God damn it. Do every once in a while, you're just like, all right, time to do my rounds. Then you do your rounds, and it's like...
Yeah, I'm bored. I'm gonna watch something, watch a video, or play a game or whatever.
That's dope.
Talk to someone, I'm bored.
That's always, yeah. I remember you were telling me about that job. You're like, but it's a quarry. There's nothing going on there.
Nothing. It's a really nice job, though. It sucks. The owner, the head honcho there, he had a medical episode recently, and
Corona?
no,
Oh.
well, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyways, my supervisor talked to the owner's son, because if anything happens to the owner, the son will take over. So they were talking. The son said, "I have no interest in running this business. I'm just going to auction off all the equipment and land. So if the owner doesn't recover, I might get laid off soon."
That'd be kind of shitty.
In the worst job market in my lifetime.
Well, what would happen if it got auctioned off to somebody else that just keeps the plant the way it is? Like, they're just like, oh.
No. Well, I don't know. If he can find a seller for it, I guess, if someone's willing to take it over, but he wants to auction off the land and the equipment.
You're just like, sell it all.
Just get it all out of here.
Even if he can't sell it all like together, he'll just be like, oh, this stuff is getting sold to these people. This is getting sold. This is auctioned off this way. Hey, it looks like Super Mall is coming over here on this land. Mm-hmm. That'd be crazy. It's pretty much in the middle of nowhere, right?
Pretty much.
It's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes
great.
Comes
not
Facebook.
much light pollution. See a lot of stars at night. It's great.
That's dope.
I saw that space station go by the past couple nights.
Nice. So you've been checking out the skies when you work there?
Mm-hmm. Been watching Mars and Venus travel along the sky.
Nice. See, that's some good content right there. You should just be like, hey guys, I'm K-Plan and we're about to track Mars. Give a little commentary in between. But that's dope. I was wondering.
Yeah, it's always weird when I see the space station because it looks like another star, right? But it's moving. So everyone's like, oh, what's with the flying star? Oh, wait, it's just a space station.
And you can tell. You're just like, I know that's the space station.
Mm-hmm.
Not compared to like planes and shit like that. Because they usually, planes and helicopters and shit just only have blinking lights, right?
Right.
But the space...
No, it looks like a star up there, but it's moving fast.
Oh.
You know, it's in a low Earth orbit. It's relatively close to Earth. And it's the size of a football field.
Dope. I have to check that out. Well, obviously you probably won't be able to see it so great in this location, huh?
No, not in Albuquerque.
No.
Unfortunately.
Whippersnappers.
Yeah, I saw it last night or the night before, and I was thinking, like, whoa, there's people up there. That's
right?
crazy.
Space, dude. That's crazy.
Space Force.
Oh, did you see that trailer for
show?
Space Force? Is it going to be a show? I thought it was going to be a movie.
Oh.
Who knows?
And Steve Carell is going to be in it, though, right?
Yeah, that one. The Netflix
we'll
original.
see.
That looks pretty funny.
It's easy to make fun of it. It's a weird concept.
But it's actual. Mm-hmm. Like, that makes sense why we should have some military up there patrolling shit. They should be. We should have some shit up there.
Yeah, there's space debris that we need to clean up.
No. That's Space Clean, not Space Force. There's two different space divisions that have to go up there, all right? You're going to see it, all right? We're going to have the military go up first, set up base, and then send up some Mexicans.
Scope things out.
And then they're going to start cleaning up, dude. They're just going to start cleaning up, dude. We here. We throw the trash. It's going to be great, dude. I can see it now. I'm proud of what I just said. But it's cool. It's a cool concept. I think it's going to be an actual thing that needs to be done. We should have Space Force up there in case. Do people in space stations have a fast, reliable way to contact us if they see something ahead of us? So say the space station is like, oh shit, there's a meteor coming. The space station sees it first so that they can relay that information to Earth. Is that how the space station kind of works, or is that how Space Force is going to work now?
I don't know. Well, space station does a lot of experiments and stuff, but I think telescopes on the ground are monitoring asteroids and stuff that can hit as cosmic events.
So not really space stations that
They don't have powerful telescopes to look for these things.
Because I think there's some satellites and stuff that do that, right? That as they orbit around us, they're actually pointed away from Earth to scan the sky and shit like that. But yeah, like I said, maybe the Space Force is just going to be that extra barrier that could just be like, okay, we're out here patrolling even farther, and then just to make sure shit doesn't go down.
And the flaw with ground-based telescopes monitoring the sky is, on like a ball, like this is the Earth, right? The telescope is here, and it's only looking at this patch of the sky.
Yeah, it's just like that little cone section of it.
Yeah. So, like, it's, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't really know much about this, but hopefully there's a way they can make a better system.
See, and that just makes it even more scarier, because if America is the first one to go up with military and be like, we've established that we have military force up in space, is China going to be like, well, where's ours? We need ours up there as well. Or are they going to allow America to just be like, yeah, I guess you guys are the world protectors or something. You still don't really get to deal what's going on Earth, but you can go ahead and keep your little fantasy of patrolling the globe to yourself. Or is China just going to be, or are they going to divide the skies? Like, look at how they divided the seas. They have the whole the nautical line or whatever that is so wherever your country is, you actually get like 15 miles of ocean around your actual ocean. But China, I don't know if you've heard this, but China actually thinks that their nautical line on the by like Japan and stuff is way bigger than what it's supposed to be.
I heard stories that they're like building military bases on like a
islands. Yeah, they're just throwing sand
just to stretch it out.
So what's not to say they would want to do that in space? Like, okay, we send Space Force up there, and Space Force could only patrol on this side of the globe. Like, they can't cross this side if China sees them going over this way. Is that bad or something? Like, what's going to happen with that? I don't know.
Right. I don't know. There might be international treaties that prevent this. I know there's an international treaty that prevents nuclear weapons in space.
And I know there's a thing that says that technically space is...
I hope it's still in effect.
It's universal. Like, technically, nobody owns it right now. It's free game for everybody. You can go up there and research it, and there's no problems with it. But it's not yours. Like, there's no... Like, even the moon and stuff isn't really technically property of the United States, even though we've been there and actually put a thing there. Anything in space is still... I forgot the actual term for it, though, but it's still... It's open. There's no...
Well, that's the traditional method of ownership. You just place a flag there, and this is mine now.
But how... See, yeah, that's what blows me away, too.
Like, what? There's people here? No.
No, not... If they are...
I think there's an Eddie Izzard joke about that when the Pilgrims came here. This new land where no one is at. Excuse me? No one's here. Who said that?
So, yeah, that's...
interesting. You own this country, but you have no method of ownership.
That has to be what's going to happen with space.
No means of ownership.
That's got to happen with space.
I miss comedy. I love I love that there's podcasts because I can still hear these comedians be funny.
Yeah, that's true. It's really hard to think about. God damn it, there's no live show of comedy. But I mean,
all live entertainment is dead. Did you hear what the NFL is going to do? They're thinking about pumping crowd noise, fake crowd noise.
Oh yeah,
during their TV broadcast.
The VR, it's coming, dude. It has to come. It's gonna come, especially in this time. People are gonna push it out more, and people have so many different versions of it. You can even get a cheap version on your phone and still play VR. Have you seen these? It's like a you'll go buy a new phone and they're like, hey, we have a virtual headset for you, and it's like something you put on your head, but you just kind of slip your phone in the front screen of it and it turns into like VR, which kind of really isn't. But I mean, that's even a cheap version of it. What's not to say that they'll be like, all right, everybody, it's tonight's event, go ahead and strap in. You have the low end middle class people, the poverty stricken people, and everybody that can go see it now. And there'd probably even still be a class system inside the VR world. Like, we actually only got in because we have the PlayStation VR. So we're like the PlayStation VR guys, Right. We made it to that level, or like we can go to that section where you have the HTSC or I forgot the name.
Is there a pay to play option? Like you could in-game currency to buy better clothes or
there probably will
or whatever.
There probably will be, dude. That's almost all games right now, though, dude. That's what's scary. Almost all games are like that.
I don't know how to feel about that because PlayStation VR gives me migraines. Like I can only wear those for like 15 minutes.
And do you wear it with your glasses as well?
I did once, and it was kind of uncomfortable. And I did without them, and they both give me migraines.
Okay. So it's just
both ways.
It's just a feeling, right? It's just a weird feeling.
So what about the people that can't, wear VR for whatever reason?
I think they would just say like, get over it.
Get over it.
You'll adapt.
This is the world now.
You'll adapt. How many people wear glasses that they don't want to wear glasses?
People just be wearing headphones instead.
Yeah, because, oh my God, you don't even know how many people I see fucking walking around with those stupid Apple earbuds. Like, all the time now. I'm just like...
I don't like the earbuds.
You're like a cyborg. You're like, I always have it on. I'm freaking out right now. I don't even know if you're talking to me or you're not.
No, I like quality headphones like this. I don't like earbuds.
But the earbuds are turning into really quality.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever tried the Apple? They're getting really good, so that when you put it in your ear, noise cancellation is happening. Everything is happening. Even if you want, you could even reduce how much noise comes in when you have them on.
Wow. I
know, it's crazy. So they're getting pretty more advanced. But then again, they're always in people's ears. That's like what is that? That's not, I'm not, again, conspiracy theory, like fucking brain monitoring, or just even like, you can even...
They irritate my ears after a while.
Do they? Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, after a while, I think that would happen to me too. Because it's just, the mask thing has been bugging the shit out of me recently. Because I have to wear it like all the time at work. And it's just... constantly feel it behind my ear. I'm just like, God damn it, this thing is so annoying right now. I can't believe I have to wear this.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm by myself at work. I don't have to wear it.
And it's in the middle of the night, like. But
middle of nowhere, no one around.
You can put it on to be cool because you're like one of those Johnny Law guys. Have you noticed? Okay, this is another stupid thing that's happening. They're like thinking it's cool to wear your mask, like it's cool, like
it's an accessory now.
Yeah, like they're like about to hit the grocery store with this dope ass mask.
Dude, dating apps, there's so many
with a dope ass mask.
Yeah, like so many selfies on dating apps with masks now.
It's so confusing to me. I was just like, oh my God, I thought this was for protection, not a fashion statement, because that's what it turned into now. Now it just feels like, can I get a cool mask?
Trendy almost.
Yeah, look at my mask. It's super sick. It's got what I like on it. Check it out.
It's an extension of me.
Look at it. Look at what I got. I got a Lord of the Rings mask. I'm super cool. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? This is the time we live in, dude. And it's
strange times.
Yeah, see?
Strange times. I've been, thinking a lot about absurdism lately. How strange everything is. Even before this.
That's true.
It's a really weird existence. We're a bunch of hairless apes with violent tendencies, anxiety issues, and mental health problems. Living on the surface of a damp rock, floating around in space. Like, this is weird.
And then, did you see that stupid thing that NASA released that they kind of discovered a parallel universe?
Yeah, where time moves backwards, and the laws of physics are reversed, whatever that means.
Honestly, I think what it is just pretty much just a mirror image. Like, it feels like it's backwards, but it really isn't. It's just everything in reverse. So it's not really like, so you're not walking backwards, or you're not like really like, I'm doing everything backwards. It's just a literal mirror image. Just a mirror image, which kind of replicates time in a different sense, which I guess you could say goes backwards. But it's still, in our relative mind, is just a mirror. That's how I see it. I'm still a little confused with the whole concept of it too. Like,
I haven't looked into that either. I've kind of been focusing on politics and comedian podcasts. Like,
no, we need to discover about the world, Kevin.
I know, and
there's so much cool things.
I found an awesome geology podcast on Spotify. I've been listening to that.
Dope. What is it called? Shout them out.
I'd have to look it up.
Never mind. Just kidding.
But it's really awesome. It's this professor from a university out in Washington.
Dope.
Really informative stuff. Dry humor. Guy's hilarious. I love dry humor too.
Nice. Just like as plain as the dust.
It's called the Nick Zentner Geology Podcast.
There you guys go. That's
on Spotify.
Spotify. Shout out here. I actually recently bought a stock in Spotify.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a gangster. So I bought some stock in Spotify. So now I'm just waiting. I honestly feel there's going to be a big jump when Joe Rogan fully transitions.
Especially if it's like flawless and he has success there too, which he's going to, but like.
But because right now, I don't know if you saw.
Once others see it applied.
Yeah, they're going to start jumping on that ship too. Because before Joe Rogan actually signed the deal, or minutes before, whatever, Spotify stock jumped like 13 points. Everybody was freaking out. They're like, "Holy shit, that's like $4 billion, blah, 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 so much money." And then you see the news articles where Joe Rogan signs to Spotify, and I was just like, holy shit, this makes sense. That's so crazy. But it's still not even the full transition yet. Like it doesn't start till September. And even then, it's going to take like a few more months to him fully be able to like get all of his video content on there as well. So I feel when that happens, there's going to be an even bigger spike jump. And then all of a sudden, like you said, different podcasts that are really popular on YouTube might jump to Spotify. Like I know fucking Neil Tyson deGrasse has a really popular podcast on YouTube called Star Talk, I think. Yeah,
it's really good. Recommend that too.
Star Talk. I really love the H3 podcast with Ethan and Ela Klein. So those people, they might do it. Like there's a bunch of like big podcasts. Bobby Lee, freaking Andrew Santino, all those guys, Brendan Shaw, all the comedy podcasts. Like, what's not to say they're just going to jump right over for full rights? Because right now they have like that whole in limbo kind of deal going on where they're like, oh, we record our podcast and we distribute it on YouTube, but we throw the audio on another platform like Apple or Spotify or something. So who knows if Spotify becomes that actual media platform.
I could see that because YouTube is pissing off a lot of people with the censorship, and they demonetize a lot of people. More and more streamers are going to like third party, like Patreon, stuff like that, getting paid through that, so they don't care if they get demonetized anymore. They're trying to get more and more independent from YouTube.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I could see.
And the same thing with
mass exodus
with Twitch too. Now that you told me that story,
the Blaze.
Oh my god,
identifies as a deer,
and it's like totally just censoring people. That's ridiculous. But Twitch has actually been pretty notorious for that. They actually favor a lot of female content creators more than males. You'd see females actually breaking a lot of rules, like actually using racial slurs, or actually some of you.
They're the money makers, right? At first, it was just for gaming, and it just wasn't that popular. And then cam girls realized, hey,
I could play a game like with a short, like cut off top or something.
Yeah, And then it became to like other stuff, not even gaming a lot of the times, makeup tutorials.
I play guitar on there.
Yeah.
Like I stream music. It's crazy. The dude from Trivia, Matt Heffy, he's like one of the lead spokesmen for the music streaming part of Twitch. It's like, holy shit, like what the fuck? I remember when I first started, it was just, I was lucky if like they would even let me like broadcast the Playroom, what I'm doing now, on Twitch. And then I would just put it on any channel, random one. I'd just be like, fuck it. There's no actual channel for like guitar playing. So I'll just throw it on the freaking Overwatch channel. And I'll just play guitar on the Overwatch channel. But now it's just like a whole, there's even fucking, there's cooking, there's debating, there's
everything.
Yeah, the channel broadcasting spectrum is huge. Like you can pick from anything now. It's ridiculous. And that's not even the only platform. Like there's one called Mixer now. Mixer's trying to compete with Twitch. You can put some cool stuff on Pornhub, and it doesn't even have to be porn. You can't. I could throw my podcast after it's done here on Pornhub. Maybe get an audience that way too. It's crazy. I love it. So amazing times we're living.
Expand your horizons.
Amazing times we're living in right now. What's something you're looking forward to, Kevin?
Live music.
Reopen.
Back to concerts.
Live music is one of the big things you're really looking forward to?
Yes.
That makes sense. You're a big concert goer. You go to a lot of shows, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I went to a lot of them last year because, I've been single for 4 years now, and I've just been wanting to be alone most of this time, but getting kind of tired of that.
Yeah.
So decided to go do a lot of concerts, break out of my shell, I guess, go to more concerts and actually talk to people at concerts this time around. Going to more bars last year, went to a lot of shows last year. It was fun.
Dope.
And then, didn't really have any luck with that. It's kind of hard to talk to people, and there's loud music all the fucking time.
Right.
And they're there to see the music. They're not there to talk to me.
That makes sense.
So I ended up joining dating apps in February. It's been awful. And then a month later, the world stopped all human interaction. So
yeah,
it was like a hell of a sign the universe gave me.
But I heard that now that the dating apps are starting to boom more because it's all this exclusivity. Like, we can actually meet up in secret.
Right. We're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
We're meeting up.
Oh. I think we can get away with it.
I've also heard of social distance dates where they're like 8 feet apart from each other.
Don't even come to don't even go to the date. Like, literally, what are we going to do? Go to a park?
Like hanging out like on different sides of the street.
That makes no sense. I'd be pissed. And especially if no, I just wouldn't even go on the date. I would just not even do it.
Yeah, it's strange. Dating apps are weird.
But they've always been kind of a sketchy sketchy game.
Bunch of fake accounts and plenty of fish. It's weird.
It's a breeding ground for just ridiculousness.
And tapping into desperation.
That's true. I mean, just thinking about it is just like, they always say that it's used for more like a fling kind of thing. But then I've met people that are just like, yeah, I've met my girlfriend. I've been with her for like 6 months. And I'm just like...
Or then Tinder. Tinder has the reputation that it's the hookup app, right? But I went on Tinder. That was the last one I joined because none of the other ones were working. So I was like, let's try this out.
Again.
I'm not really into hookups or random flings or anything. But anyways, let's try it out. And like most of the profiles are like, I'm here for something serious. And no one's here for games on dating apps. No one, absolutely no one.
They lied. They lied to you. Yeah.
So many profiles say, I'm not here for games. I'm not here for bullshit. It's like, well.
You know what I think, though, too? It's the demographic of where we live.
Oh, yeah, this is terrible.
So if there was more of a population.
Yes.
There'd be there'd be way more. Just way more.
Yeah, I've been having no luck. I've been extending the range of it, and I'm,
You're like,
I'm considering people in Santa Fe now, 70 miles away.
What else do you want me to do, Tinder? I mean, literally. Yeah, they should have a better algorithm to match people. They're just like, yeah, it's just ridiculous.
A lot of them, it's hard to determine if you like someone or not based on 3 pictures and a paragraph. It's really odd. I'm just not used to it. Like, I'm used to like meeting people naturally through conversations and whatever, concert or class, university, whatever.
No more, bro. No more.
No
I can't
more.
even go to a Comic-Con no more, dude.
Yeah, no more human interaction. I have to meet people through devices now.
See, I think that would... Shut up, Dennis. He's a bad guy. Anyways, we got Dennis in the studio, everybody. Dennis is here. He's just hanging out in the green room, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's just life now. And who knows? Maybe it'll get better. I'm not really expecting it to. I'm expecting more of this is going to be the norm of just social distancing, not hanging out as much with people. You want to hang out? Let's play together in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, so many people in power are hesitant to go back to normal and open things up again. And
the thing I do like, though, is that the government kind of gave the states the opportunity to make the choices. And it just depends on the state how well they take care of it or not.
Right, and it's like each state is like conducting their own experiment on how to deal with it, so that's kind of interesting to watch.
But it's even worse because the state is having even more trouble inside of all the cities and stuff. Like, do you hear what happened in like Farmington and stuff like that?
No.
They're just like totally protesting, don't give a fuck about the mask. I saw this picture, I don't know if it's real or not, but they had the Zia symbol flag and they turned it into the swastika. So I don't know. I felt it was
that's a little much.
I felt like it was a fake Photoshop photo, but then again, somebody posted it on their Facebook and it went crazy. Everybody just totally. But it was at a Farmington rally for the COVID. They're just like, we're not listening to you guys. We don't want to. We're trying to open businesses. We're trying to like not wear a mask. We're trying to go back to life the way it was. But that's in that little corner of the pocket of New Mexico.
Right. Can we go back to the way it was?
Can we?
Can we? Will we be allowed as well?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Trying to see if I find that picture of the Nazi Zia symbol. That's even worse that it's about us, like literally.
Man, why would you want to associate the New Mexican flag with that?
Oh, I know where I'll find it. I'll find it on that guy's Facebook page.
There's better ways to protest and get your message across.
That's true. That is very true. Look at what we're doing now. This is a conversation where we're trying to get more out of it, not just, hey, my opinion's right. Like, even if we do have different opinions with each other, we're not going to freaking...
That's a flawed statement. No opinion is correct or incorrect. It's an opinion. So
yeah, exactly.
So that's a flawed statement.
Nothing is right. If it's an opinion. It's on him, yeah. See, again, I don't know if it's real or not. That's what makes me more skeptical. I'm just like, if this is real, that's so bad. But then again, that's the beauty of the internet, right? Somebody can make something like that to rile up a bunch of people just to be like, oh, you guys are all this way. And then little do we know, we go to Farmington and they're just like, oh, hey, my life is not that bad. We're not doing all the stuff you think we're doing. There it is. And, this guy's a comedian, so he probably would want the publicity, so I'll just throw his Facebook on there as well.
Wow.
Farmington tripping, yo. So I don't know. I won't protest good of you, your God, given right. What the fuck, for real? Don't give a shit. And again, there was a lot of hate. Bunch of the comments, no bueno.
Yeah, it's not cool.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things. But it's a little bit disheartening that it's here in New Mexico. And it's even worse that, like, even if it was Photoshop or anything, the dude made it.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate saying this, but my comedian side is just like, you got us. You got us, dude.
Yeah.
You got us.
Yeah.
So I don't
give credit where credit's due.
I mean, he got if either or, like, see, if it's an idiot that did this willingly, you're fucking
like
an idiot.
seriously actually meant it.
Yeah, you're an idiot, but it's funny that you're that stupid. Or the opposite,
Right,
where the
you're
guy
just being offensive to be offensive.
Yeah. With the other dude, we're just like, oh, I'm just going to make this to piss off people. I don't really believe in this. I don't even care, but I'm just doing this to piss off people because let's just say he's funny. Bam. There's no wrong here, man. There's like, there's underlying to all this. If we really want to be a free and independent, awesome country and stuff, like, people laugh, people cry. It's all there. There's no.
If you don't like it, just don't think about it. Get over it.
Yeah, follow, unsubscribe, do whatever, know. Don't unsubscribe, I swear. Just keep subscribing. Give me some more subscribers, if anything.
Right, like Duncan Trussell, I've been listening to him a lot lately and watched his Midnight Gospel show on Netflix.
That is pretty dope.
And at one point he said, like, we should focus on the things we like. Why do we give time, attention, energy to the things we dislike? What's the point?
Yeah.
We should strive to be joyful, to enjoy ourselves. Why dwell on things that we don't like?
That makes sense, too. But that's not the case, especially today. And like this, we focus so much more on negative, which always freaks me out, too.
That's what gets attention and ratings.
How, though? Like, that's what blows me away, too. Like, okay, in our sense, like, do you really want to see people death numbers? No, I don't. I'm pretty sure you don't either.
No, not really.
But then
some people want to because it fits their narrative.
Yeah, they're just like watching it constantly. They're like, there's even live feeds of like counters,
like a ticker.
Yeah, of people getting the virus and people dying from it and stuff. I'm just like, why is this even going on? Like, you have over 5,000 people watching this. Like, it's weird.
It is weird.
But this is the day and age we live in. We live in 2020, dude. I don't know why we still haven't seen an alien yet. That's the only upsetting
You're
thing.
assuming they exist.
They do. They're okay.
How do you know?
Aliens exist, but we just don't know what an alien is. So right now, I could be like one of those.
How do you know aliens exist?
Because it's. I feel aliens. Okay, I don't know aliens exist. I believe.
Okay.
I believe aliens exist because there's just so much like possibilities of why we don't know about what goes on the Earth or in space or in the world. So
and we're searching for life based on the life that we know, which is just here on Earth. We're looking for planets that are in the Goldilocks zone, that are Earth-like, that have water.
Yeah, because
because it seems like life forms here on Earth need water.
You can't comprehend.
So we're assuming life everywhere is like that.
Yeah,
we don't know.
There's no way that I could comprehend an alien just built up of matter, of certain kind of matter. Just like, imagine if it was just like iron and hydrogen. That's it. But it still was able to make a compound of itself, like in a way that blows me away, that I would never know, that I can never understand. That's what I feel an alien is, like something that is just too mind-blowing, that is just, when we see it, we just die. Like, literally, it's going to be too intense. We don't even know what it's going to be like. Gas Mask did say, though, that the Navy did release that information about the UFOs. Remember that? Mm-hmm. They released those.
But they're unidentified flying objects,
but
not
it's still,
aliens.
I know, he didn't say...
If you see something floating around, you don't know what it is, that's a UFO.
But that's still another...
It's a very broad term that...
It's an implication that there's something that they don't know about either.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Pentagon released it here recently, too.
Why did they do that? Why did they release all this information about UFOs?
I honestly feel...
To get support for Space Force.
No. I've always been a firm believer that they release information to get you ready for something.
Yeah, ease us into it.
Yeah, so they're just like,
That's a possibility.
there are, so that, say if we actually start seeing them more closely ourselves, that they're going to be like, see, we told you. We released that 2 years ago, that it was already happening. And then it just gets more intense after that. So who knows? That's where I feel like the aliens have to visit us, so that, I mean, we've seen so many.
Why do they have to visit us?
Well, we've seen so many depictions of aliens that I think when we do finally see an alien, it will be as freaky as we think it's going to be. Because we've already seen so many. Like, so many. Who knows what it's going to look like? Who knows what it is? But there's a possibility that it might, like, I wish I could bring up like a police lineup of aliens that we've seen throughout history. And one of them, or one of them that looks like them, we might see in the near future. That's what I feel. And they've just, from whatever data they have, from whatever data that they've collected, from whatever they've seen, they've introduced it to us in a small spectrum, small way, so that when it does happen, we're just like, dude, that guy looked like Mars Attacks guy. That's crazy.
Oh my god, the aliens look like that?
You never know.
Weird exposed brains.
So yeah, I don't know though. Again, going back to the other thing, this whole thing in general just might be a simulation. We just might already been playing so far, so long.
And we might be building our own going towards our own simulation with VR.
I think that's pretty much how it goes. I think it just repeats itself again, so that when we end up creating the perfect VR, it's going to be like, hey, this VR game is called Born. And then you play a whole new life all over again. But you'll never know, because you only exit the game when you die. So like, if this is Born that we're playing right now,
so like that Rick and Morty episode,
yeah, kind of like
Steve,
that.
or was it Steve?
What was his name? Roy.
Yeah.
So that exact thing. This is happening right now.
You beat cancer and went back to the rug store?
That's what you did? That's what you did with your life? That would make you think too, is like, holy shit, like I should try better on the next one.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yep.
And how many times have you heard that people are just like, oh, I've lived a past life, blah, blah, blah. I used to be a 50s gangster, or
I'm an old soul.
Yeah, I remember when I fought in King Arthur's military. There's so many of those possibilities that we don't understand life at all. That what if that is what really happens? It's like, that thing where they're just like, oh, right before you die, you see the light, you go into the light. Oh, follow the light, go into the light.
Isn't that your brain freaking out though?
Yeah. So you're going into this light, and again, this is just speculation. I don't even know if it's true or not, but they say when you're born, the first thing that you truly see is a bright light. You see a bright light when you're born. Who knows? Because you can't even remember shit when you're born. But
yeah. Which newborn did they interview to find this out?
And the funniest thing about it too is that your eyes are closed when you're born, right? I'm pretty sure you don't instinctively open them right away. I wonder if
they can detect brain waves to see if they can determine that.
That'd be a good. That actually is pretty interesting to think about.
How else would they be able to detect that?
But supposedly that's the transition from life to death to reincarnation. Because I don't believe that if you get reincarnated, you don't get reincarnated into another animal or another thing. You're just like, oh, I want to live my life as an eagle, or I'm going to get reincarnated as a cockroach. That doesn't happen. I feel like if you do get
What if you get the choice, though?
You don't.
You get to pick your avatar, like
you don't.
in Midnight Gospel.
That'd be sick. That'd be actually pretty cool. That'd actually be really cool. But
well, why not? Why can't I come as an eagle?
Because I feel like that's the mystery of our game.
Why can't I come back as a light pole?
Because that's our mystery of our game. It's like we have to figure out how to make that stuff as a light pole or an eagle and stuff. I don't know. It's a trippy little idea, but I honestly...
Sorry. The reason why I said light pole is because when I worked at Papa John's 15 years ago, I used to argue with this guy, super religious, argue with him all the time about religion, just because he was so passionate about it, and he hated the fact that I was satanic, even though I wasn't. My music was.
Yeah.
But no, and I told him I ended up arguing with him about reincarnation. I told him, well, why can't I come back as a light pole? Or he asked me, what would you come back as? And I told him a light pole because we were outside, and it's the first thing I looked at.
And what did he say?
He just
disagreed. It's like, why would
he
you want to
like
come
laughed
back?
and walked away, and even thought I was an even bigger moron. Had no idea I was trolling him.
But that still makes sense if you really think about it, because if we totally break down what we're made of, it's just an atom, a proton, and an electron, that they're all arranged in a certain way that we built this.
And it's strange that it's mostly empty space.
Yeah,
when you look at a molecule.
That's crazy too, that they're just circling each other with a bunch.
So absurd.
But all of this is technically the same kind of basis of what it's built off of, right? With the first building parts of life. Like, why am I different than this can? Like, why? If I really take it apart all the way to the beginning, don't we start off the same?
Say that again.
Like, literally, I honestly feel like this can or the computer or even the water is not any different from me until we start to break it down to the bare beginning stages of what it's made out of. Mm-hmm. Like, if you really see how tin is made of, you obviously go to, it has this many neutrons, has this many protons, this many electrons. Mm-hmm. Same thing with my blood or the bones that are in my body. They have this many protons, this many electrons. But if we started right from the beginning, this is no different than me.
The beginning of what?
Of the bare structure of life or anything.
Okay.
Because it's built off of the same, I don't want to say those are the same three principles of like a proton, electron, and neutron, but those are the building blocks of what starts like molecules, different like elements and stuff like that, is how many of those are inside of each other. Mm-hmm. Am I right, or am I just barking up the wrong tree here? You get what I'm saying though, right?
Kinda.
Because, okay, there's a certain amount of protons inside of you compared to inside of a cow, mm-hmm. right? But there are the same protons. The mm-hmm. same protons.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the protons that are inside of this laptop from the beginning than you? Because there are...
The way it's arranged?
Exactly. That's the only thing, is that the way that they're arranged. But if you took it apart all the way from the beginning, it would be the same. You would just have a huge pile of like a puzzle piece that you would have
particles everywhere.
Yeah, that you would have to put together to make me and make.
Well, yeah, like all these heavy elements came from stars exploding, so we're all star stuff.
Exactly, and that's what blows me away, is that like if you really, really think about it, we're just pretty much all like basic essential things that we just don't know how to comprehend and change that stuff. I mean, we kind of do. We clone now. We kind of build other limbs and stuff for other people, even really synthetic where it looks realistic. So what's not to say we're going to get super, super close to being able to like, oh, dude, I can actually like grow my finger an extra 2 inches because they know how to rearrange the particles in that. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
That reminds me of the Futurama episode where Bender was able to shrink himself to the molecular level, and he was just turning water molecules into grain alcohol.
There you go.
So
see,
he could drink.
That's good. Yeah. See, just being able to change that one molecule, that'd be sick.
How would we be able to do that?
We don't know yet. But then again,
some of those bonds are strong. Like, you release energy sometimes when you do stuff like that.
And yeah,
so like mastering alchemy at the molecular level. Yeah, is that what you're saying?
That would be the sense, being able to master that. Because I know they just to even make certain particles, they have to like collide them into super, super high speed and stuff. So that's even crazy to think about too. Is like to take them apart would be even more crazier. Like, you see that all the time, right? People go crazy for a hydrogen bomb. They're just like, oh, it's a hydrogen bomb. But, like, to make that hydrogen bomb, you have to release or take out some stuff from the beginning stages of whatever it was, right? Like, maybe they started off with water, but then they took out the hydrogen from it, and then now that becomes its own little entity of a bomb or whatever. Blows me away. Science. That's another shitty thing too, is I want the neural links in my brain so I can understand all this already. because I don't understand it. It's always like it's so many questions, so many things come into my mind when I'm thinking about it.
So like downloading information like the Matrix?
Pretty much.
That's appealing.
You think that would be cool?
Yeah, but I don't know.
It'd be connected to your phone.
Studying things traditionally the way yourself, it's rewarding.
But it's hard to
Instead of just downloading it in 5 seconds to your brain.
But what's not to say it's harder to comprehend it now? Like, okay, there's so much information. How much information can you really attain in your brain? Like, literally. Right. Like, literally. I try so hard to learn so many songs, but I can't remember all of them. I can't, and it's so hard. Not with Neuralinks. Boop, boop, boop.
So just install a hard drive into your head.
Yeah, take a little chunk of my skull out. He says they're going to take about a 1-inch diameter out of your skull and place the chip and then place that skull fragment back in there and it'll look like a little scar. And that's it. You have Neuralinks in your brain forever. He does say that you'll
Strange.
He does say I think you'll be able to remove it. But why? After that point, is it going to turn into like a law? Like
I can't imagine going back after that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That blows me away of what the feeling would be to go back.
Yeah.
Like once you're tapped in, is it so good? How is it going to feel? Will I be able to control my pleasure senses? Like that blows me away.
Can people hack into this chip and control me?
I wouldn't doubt it. That's more of a possibility, especially if it's going to be like networked with a bunch of other people's. Like, why not? Like, that's what people strive for in the hacking industry, right? They're just like, I want to find something that is impenetrable, so I can break it. Just to be that guy to say that they did it. I mean, there's people out there. I don't know any hackers that do that, but I mean, I know there are. There's a bunch of. They do it all the time for anything. They're constantly trying to hack into little like Facebook servers, PlayStation networks.
I'm sure you get fake messages from Facebook friends on Messenger.
Yeah, they're just like, "Hey, buddy, aren't you in this video?"
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm in this video? I didn't know.
Hey, you're on this news video. Like, no, I wasn't.
Probably not. If I know, and then the shitty part is if you click on it, then it just you got spammed, and then you ended up sending it to everybody, and you try to get everybody else fucked over too. Gas Mask says synthetic biology is a field of science that involves redesigning organisms from useful purposes by engineering them to have new abilities. I'm down with that. Synthetic. But so does that actually see, that's what's crazy to think about too, is will the neural links actually be able to make me stronger, be able to make me faster? I like the idea of it making me smarter. But the other aspect kind of...
How would it make you stronger, though? Don't you have to work the muscles?
But it actually give you the motivation to do it, maybe.
Oh.
Like, you know, it's actually just like, you know, you have to, instead of like, oh, man, I got to work out, just be like... And then that part of your brain actually is like, I'm all high now. I don't want to work out.
Striving for that dopamine.
See, and that's what's crazy, too. Will it be able to replicate certain things that we've been able to do that we've never been able to do? Okay, so like in me and your aspect, we've actually tripped on mushrooms and acid before. Like, will it be able to replicate that ability?
That would be cool.
Like, that would be intense.
Be like, okay, LSD mode.
Give it, and even not as long either.
I'm on board now.
You're like, Neuralinks is my friend. Can I buy stocks in Neuralinks right now?
You're right.
See, that blows me away if they can do that. Because we can already describe something to people that have never experienced in their life. Like, literally, we can tell them about a trip, tell them what we've been through, but unless they do it, they'll never be able to like experience that aspect. And even us to explain it to somebody is never really the actual trip. Like, never. That always blows me away too. Is like, somebody could explain to me how amazing their trip was or how awesome or how deep they got into it. But that's good for them because I don't know how that felt. I don't know what it was like. And it's always to that point where it's just like, oh man, with Neuralinks, would it also be able to put people in like certain brain frequencies where like right now we're talking to each other without actually moving our lips, with no interaction with each other at all? Or just
That'd be interesting.
that, because he says that's what's coming. Elon Musk says we won't have to talk to each other anymore. It'll all be mental. So I don't know if you ever saw that South Park episode where he actually gets like this weird, Cartman gets this weird thing where he talks to Alec Baldwin, and they're like in a kind of in that same aspect where they're in like a social media thing, but they talk with their brain waves and they always get to hear what's going on. I feel like that's kind of like South Park kind of hit it on the nail with that.
Right. Like, as long as I could pick and choose when they hear my thoughts and who hears it, you know.
See, that's kind of going to be kind of weird. Because
How is that going to be controlled and monitored?
well, supposedly they can do that automatically whenever they want on our phones. So what's not to say they can do that whenever they want, when they want, in our brains. Like, oh, dude, why is this guy always constantly thinking of this? That's weird.
Then what if it starts malfunctioning?
Do you think that's more of a possibility too? But a cool thing that I've learned over time is that we've gotten better at technology, that we don't need super multiple versions of it right away. So like, say, example, the cell phone, obviously we kept updating it, and it got better and better and better. But now when we release a cell phone, you technically don't need to update it. You can keep the same cell phone for a good 5-6 years and it still be pretty good. It gets updated itself. What's not to say that's going to happen with Neuralinks, where you get it and it's just so good that it takes a good 10 years.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. That's what I think is what's happening with video games, because like the transition between Nintendo to Super Nintendo and N64, N64 to PlayStation 1, they were all massive leaps.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, it looks better. It wasn't as much of a massive leap now. So, like, back even like 10, 15 years ago, when you bought a PC, you had to update it every couple of years. Like, the technology isn't advancing as much anymore because it already looks great, you know? How much better could these look at this point? They could run better for sure, but, you know, you don't have to update your computer as much as now compared to back 10, 15 years ago. And there's not like a standard anymore. Like, can your computer run this game? Oh, then it's shit. You know, that's not really the case anymore either.
That's true. Now it's a competition based, like how fast is your processor? Like how fast can it do stuff?
Yeah.
Like it's okay if it runs it at a certain speed or whatever, but now it's all about like the quickness of how fast it opens it or how fast it can like run the game and stuff. Because I've been seeing now a bunch of processors pop up on my fucking news feed, like just won competition of the fastest processor ever. Like it can do this and this amount of speed and do this and this amount of speed. And that blows me away in itself too, because it's just like, did you see the demo of the PlayStation 5 of what they're using? What is it called? Unreal 5 or something? That demo?
I heard Bethesda's going to switch to that.
The graphics on
I
that,
hope they do.
they look amazing, dude. It's really mind-blowing. But
Yeah, Unreal has a great reputation. So many games use that.
it's so weird to think about, though, is like that transition is so close to where, and again, me going back into the VR thing, where it feels like the real life. Like you saw some of those projections. The cliffside was awesome. The bugs, the way they interact with the light was blowing me away. Like it's just getting too real. Like what the fuck do we live here for? Like this sucks. I don't know, man.
And they're getting better and better at it. There's a YouTube channel called Corridor Crew, and they're visual effects artists. And they watch and like break down a lot of CGI in Hollywood, in movies and television. And it's really informative. It's really cool. And they're saying like visual effects are getting better and better and better. These programs are getting better. Computers are getting better. The people behind all this are getting better.
Yeah. And it's just, yeah, it's super amazing how fast and how amazing it's coming out. You just can't keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
It blows me away.
Yeah, like their most recent video, they did a bunch of clips of Russian movies. It was pretty cool. And some of the simulations they were using were really cool. The clothing simulation, smoke, fire, and water simulations. And them, like, breaking down and, like, you know, they're professionals in the field. They're visual effects artists, so it's nice to see them get blown away.
Dope. And now, talking about quantum computing, like, that blows me away in itself, too. Like, just kind of getting the aspect of quantum theory, like, that shit throws me, like, I can't even comprehend it because it's weird. Mm-hmm. But it literally, what it states is that something can be something else in its state, like a 0 and a 1 are the exact same thing in its state. So right now, I'm looking at you, and you are who you are and what I see, but when I turn around, that whole state is changed. Mm-hmm. Whole thing is changed. Yeah. It could be whatever. Mm-hmm. What the fuck, man? That just blows me away. Like, what's that? That in itself goes back to this. Like, what's not... You're changing in your molecular form in the quantum state. Like... Mm-hmm. I don't know. Just see, that's too much for me. Like, I'm not smart enough to comprehend any of that. That fucking blows me away.
Yep.
But now they have quantum computing where it's actually that's going on in real time. Like, the rendering of life in a video game is so fast and so awesome. It is like real life. Like, you can walk through a forest and probably see something grow in front of you just like life does. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I've seen videos of Grand Theft Auto 5 where they just watch NPCs wander around the city or whatever, and it's just amazing that they programmed that into it.
Yeah, that's going on.
Yeah.
I heard gas masks.
It's that detailed.
I heard Hollywood is using giant LED back screens and not using green screen tech anymore.
Yeah, The Mandalorian did that.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like a giant dome of light, basically, and they just put whatever background behind it, and it's like it's natural lighting. They don't have like that fuzzy, like, you could tell when it's green screen a lot, unless it's like high quality, but still, it still looks fake.
You still can tell, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, so most of
the Mandalorian looked like he was all
in the desert,
set.
Right? Yeah. Sickle desert scenes.
Or
and stuff
on
like
location.
That makes sense. That's just, yeah, that's totally the way technology is now. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the movie aspect is going to be like that now too. Like, you're not going to be able to just like go to a dope ass like location. Hey, let's go watch a movie at the movie theater. It's just going to be like a really open sense. Like, you can either watch it at your house, watch it at home on your whatever tablet device you have. I don't know. Did you hear what happened with the whole Troll release? You know about that movie Trolls World Tour? Like, movie theaters got super mad at Universal because they released it to streaming companies first because of the pandemic. There's no movie theaters or nothing open, so they're like,
they need to make money off
we
this.
have this movie. What are we going to do with it? So it's like, fuck it. Let's just send it to them. Mm-hmm. So now, as far as maybe it might have changed, but a bunch of movie theaters now are boycotting Universal. So they're not going to show Universal movies. They're going to be like, fuck you guys. You guys are done. You guys don't get to play your movies at our movie theaters. And
is that really a smart thing to do when the movie theaters are closed?
Dude, this is what Universal should be doing. They're just like, okay, whatever, dude.
We don't need you.
So now
you need us.
The newest release was that stupid Scooby-Doo movie. Mm-hmm. Scooby, whatever. I don't even know what it's called. But they're making hundreds of millions. They're doing so well because you're getting the release right now where there's a huge pandemic going on, but it's okay because they still get entertainment out. You still get to watch what you want to watch. Kid friendly. I love this YouTube channel called Film Theory. He broke it down so well.
I like him too.
He's totally broke down of like the way people go to the movie theaters. Like, you go to a movie theater to spend more money on like popcorn, seating, refreshments, and then you watch the movie.
That's what the theaters make money off of.
But then families, like, do you think of your family like, oh, I'm going to take my kid, take my 2 kids, my wife, let's bring grandma as well. You're paying for all these people to go to the movie theaters, where you can do it at home now. You could, hey grandma, I got you the link. Go ahead and play it on your TV while we all watch it together. You don't even have to have her leave the house anymore. Leave the room.
You can pause it whenever you want. There's no loud, obnoxious people in the theater with you.
Yeah, that was another thing people were complaining about too. Like, I don't have to worry about this asshole. I paid $30 tonight to watch this movie, and now I have to deal with this asshole who keeps like looking at his phone, talking.
Yeah.
No more problems like that.
Strange world. But anyways, yeah, that lighting screen. One thing I wanted to say, green screens suck because the actors have to pretend like whatever background or whatever they're interacting with, you know?
Yeah.
With that lighting, they can interact with the background because they can fucking see it.
Yeah, it's actually if there's an actual car passing by them, they can see the car in real time.
Yeah, instead of just guessing where it's going to be.
And action.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right?
And doing 12 takes of that to make sure it's right.
That's ridiculous. That's just technology though, better technology. It's growing to a point where you can just, hey guys, you can make a movie in this dome. It's going to be dope. You want to make it look like a jungle scene just, right there.
Yeah, project whatever you want right up there. And all you have to do is just whatever physical objects they interact with, and like the ground, like you just have to build a tiny set to, you know, correlate with it.
That's dope. I think then it'll just turn up to like rooms like this where they'll just all be like lighting rooms. Like it just literally, you go into a warehouse where it's just literally
you don't need these posters anymore. You can just project all this stuff
every time
on a wall.
So yeah, if some different guest comes on, just be like, just there's their appeal for that person. That's a dope idea. That's dope that it's coming out like that, because I think movies will probably have better quality in them too when they're made correctly. Because I mean, you see Endgame and you just know, you're just like,
and then you see the Star Wars prequels, like Episode 2 and 3, were just all basically green screen.
Yeah.
And it's like when you see the behind the scenes, like you could see that the actors are frustrated with all this. It's like, oh, just pretend this is here, pretend this is there, you know.
So I guess it's a big leap towards better production for movies and shit too as well. So that's going to be great to see. Kevin, been here for an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, wow. It always goes by so quickly.
Just chilling. We always get ramped up into shit and we're just like, oh, yeah.
LSD button. Where's my LSD button?
So, yeah, if you didn't get anything out of this, Spotify is going to be badass. Buy Spotify stock now. I think it's only like $190 stock. I bought 3. So I was like, fuck yeah. Use my stimulus money. I don't give a fuck. So I got that. Drugs are amazing.
Of course.
Obviously. Neuralinks is going to be sick if they have those awesome attachments as well. You probably download you can download Trippy Acid app as well for your Neuralinks.
Right. The 3-hit acid version just came out.
Right. Do you want to do the Joe Rogan DMT experience? Get it now. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I would.
I still want to try DMT.
That's the final drug on my bucket list, I think.
Yeah.
That's the last one I want to try.
That's crazy.
That I haven't.
So let us know if you guys know any dealers out there.
Well,
hit us up.
I haven't I've never done coke or crack or meth or heroin or anything.
There's no real incentive to do it. Like,
not really. They're not appealing at all.
If anything, I would want to do cocaine because I'm like dying, you know, and I need like some adrenaline rush to keep me alive or something.
It serves its purpose.
Yeah, in a medical sense, that's the only reason why I would do those drugs. Like, dude, I just cut my arm super sick and I don't want to go to the doctor. You think I can get some heroin right away? Let me do that. Or fucking exactly the whole like I'm about to die, so I need like a shot of cocaine to like keep my adrenaline running and stuff. I'll do that. But in other sense, I'm not trying to like sit around, pump up heroin just for like recreational uses. Not my thing.
There's this journalist on ESPN, Dan Lebitard.
Yeah.
His show it's a sports satire. He makes fun of sports a lot, doesn't take it seriously at all. Actually pokes at the fact that everyone takes this seriously. It's just fucking sports. They're just throwing a ball around.
Most of them.
Most of them. But anyways, he said, jokingly, he might be serious, but if he makes it to 90, he's going to do heroin, because why not?
That's not a bad idea to try the drug at a later age.
Yeah. You're about to go anyways. Fuck it.
Because
Let's see what it's like.
Dude, because I love my grandpa. My grandpa's a beast, but I think he's still alive because of how many drugs he has taken. Because he's like, dude, my grandpa's already going to be in his like late 80s. And like, he freaking, dude, I see him once in a while still pop a Percocet. I'm just like, what are you doing, Grandpa? What's going on? But he's still going hard. Like, he still works on his house. He's still out there working, chopping wood. I'm just like, damn, Grandpa, you're a beast. Hopefully,
well, he's not letting his body shut down. Once you stop, like, there's evidence that once people retire and they don't stay active,
it just kind of
they just deteriorate.
Yeah, that makes sense too. If you just like let it happen, it's gonna happen. But if you kind of fight it, it doesn't affect you as well. Because that's what I honestly feel too. I've had somebody tell me like, you look so youthful and stuff. It's just because I still feel that way, still pushing that way. That's probably why I look so youthful. Imagine if I was just like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna go to Comic-Cons, or I'm not gonna do my youthful things that I do. Then I probably would look older, and I probably would look more older and gross. But I'm not. I just turned 30, bro. I'm a beast. And that's not my midlife crisis speaking of. But yeah, it's that same aspect where if you don't let it happen, it probably won't. Like, you don't look like you're dying, Kevin. You don't look like you're like...
We're all dying, man.
But in a sense of faster than other people, aging is a disease that we can stop if we really want to. I mean, it's not... we don't have the cure for aging, but we at least can slow it down, I feel.
And it appears to be our DNA, the ends of our DNA deteriorating.
That's it. We'd have to do more research on that.
You know, to simplify that, that's basically it. Our DNA deteriorating.
And that's crazy to think about too. It's just like, because we're always making new stuff in our body. Like, it's always being remade. Like, nothing in my body is original from 10 years ago.
I think all our cells have been replaced.
Yeah.
Takes 7 years for all your cells to be completely replaced. 7 years ago, you didn't have any of the cells you have now.
Yeah. So
that's weird. That's so strange.
That's life.
Everything's so strange. Like, talking about the molecular world and particles, they seem to be infinitely small, you know. And then we discover giant galactic superclusters. Like, the world is infinitely small, infinitely huge. It's so strange.
Yeah, that blows me away in itself too. Like, if you can tell that, like, oh, this whole nebula is just based off of like amazing protons and like electrons swirling in itself before we even see a planet or anything form, that's crazy. Because again, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, we're kind of the same. Like, that's what's the beauty of life. But we get dumbed down to feel like, oh, you're different than me because you don't wear a mask, or oh, you're different than me because you believe in a God that I don't believe in. And that is disheartening and sad.
It is.
Because we would have so much more.
We should focus on what connects us.
Yeah.
Instead of what divides us.
Right? That's true. Kevin, we're going to leave with that hippie note right there. That was awesome. This is Kevin, everybody. We'll have him back on again. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want you to follow him anywhere, so don't follow him social media sites. Right? You know. Yeah. You can. I mean, if you want to find him, you can find him on my Facebook and stuff. Make sure to check out all my stuff. We got MuseMe TV, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. We'll be back later on tonight. I don't know. Maybe she canceled or not. We'll find out. We have Bethany coming on. She's actually pretty cool. She's actually an extra on Breaking Bad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she was an extra on the first season as a little kid. So yeah, she's a co-worker. So that should be fun. Have that. Guys, thank you for listening. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe.